broken 55-inch 4K TV that was considered unrepairable, but that I'm going to fix with a piece of tape. Someone posted this TV for free on a local Facebook group, and when you turn it on, you don't get any image at all. It was actually so new it was under warranty. Their repair guy couldn't figure it out, so they got a replacement and got rid of this one. People are getting rid of useful and valuable things all the time, and those things can be repaired. One of my hopes with this channel is to help you and give you confidence to fix something or learn something new and to save money. So let me walk you through the process of how I got this TV, how to track down the problem, and I'll explain how a simple thing like tape can fix an unrepairable TV. The guy who gave away this TV was super cool, and he was very eager to know if I could fix it. His new TV was already there, so it was kind of fun that he was rooting for me. Here's what happens when you turn the TV on. You probably can't see it in this picture. The backlight comes on, but there's no image. If I had sound hooked up, you would hear the sound. The owner told me that the image got darker, then eventually there was no image at all. He said the TV tech replaced the main board and the T-Con board, but he still didn't know what was wrong. Now, based on that information, I have an initial guess at the problem, but it definitely sounds like a challenge. Whenever I get a broken TV like this, I follow a process to make an educated guess at the problem before ever getting my screwdriver out. I didn't find any common problems. I know that there's a backlight but no image, and it's time to take the back cover off and do some more diagnostic steps. This is the TV with the back cover off. It's upside down. You can see there's not too many parts here. There's three main parts. There's the power supply, T-Con board, and the main board. The original owner told me that the repair tech replaced the T-Con board and the main board over here, and he still couldn't figure it out. Now my first guess is that either the repair tech didn't really replace the T-Con board, or the T-Con board has a fault in it, or more likely that there's a problem with the LCD panel. So this next diagnostic step is an easy and very important one when tracking down an LCD problem. There are usually two ribbon cables coming out of the T-Con board that drive each half of the screen. The great thing is that you can disconnect one of these at a time to see which side has the problem. So I have the right side cable disconnected, I flipped the TV around, I've plugged it back in, and I'm going to turn it on and see what we get. Whoa, cool! That is way more than what I was getting before. This tells me that the left side of the screen is fine and that the problem is on the right side of the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the TV and reverse the process to see what happens and confirm that the problem is on that right side. I'll reconnect the ribbon cable that drives the right side of the screen and disconnect the other one, flip the TV around, and let's see what happens. Okay, that looks normal. But I see some lines on the screen, and that funky green stuff is definitely not normal. Wow, there is a problem on this TV. I would expect that the left side would stay a solid white, but because it's black on the right side and that funky stuff is going on the left side, that actually gives me a clue that there's a problem with the signaling on this LCD panel. So even though I suspect the problem inside the panel itself, I'll still want to check the driver board, which is under this metal bracket, for short circuits. I'm testing the capacitors along the edge for any shorts to ground. I don't find any, so let me get the T-Con board, and then I'm going to unblock them one at a time to find which one of these lines is the culprit. So with a small piece of tape next to the ribbon cable, I know from the printing on the T-Con board that pin 1 is something I don't need to worry about, because I followed those little traces up to pins 2 through 9, and these are the clock signals that I need to block. And with an X-Acto knife and magnification, it's not terribly difficult. So starting at pin number 2, I need to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm going to cut right there, and I'm going to end up with a piece of tape that perfectly blocks these 8 clock signals. So the ribbon cable is back in, and this is the first test. Will this work? This is a lot of fun. Let's see. Turning on the TV, let's see what we get. Wow, look at that. A full picture. But I don't know if you can see it. There was a bunch of lines there on the screen. I don't know if that's coming across on the camera. I can see a bunch of horizontal lines on there. Not perfect, but we're moving in the right direction. With the camera closer, you can see the horizontal lines, and they definitely affect the image quality. Here's a white image of the screen, and you can see the lines very clearly. But this is certainly progress from the dying green screen from earlier. Okay, so now I need to do some trial and error. I'm going to unblock one line at a time and put the ribbon cable back in the TV. I'm hoping that the image quality gets better overall, but what I'm really looking for when I test each line is for the problem on the TV to get worse. So it helps me uncover which one of these clock lines is the issue. So here's the screen with clock line 1 unblocked. It's maybe a little better overall, but you can still see the lines and it doesn't look good. So let's keep going and get back to the workbench to cut another sliver of tape off and unblock lines 1 and 2 and see what that looks like. It seems slightly better than before, but those lines are still there. So let's move on to the next one. And I do this a few more times. I'm not seeing any major changes after unblocking lines 1 through 5. Those lines on the screen are still visible, but when I get to unblocking line 6, something very interesting happens. Okay, so here we go. Lines 1 through 6 are unblocked, and oh wow, I finally see something different. The lines there look more prominent, and you can start to see the screen get dimmer there. So that means whatever is connected to clock line 6 almost certainly has a short circuit in it, and it's messing up this image quality significantly. And you can see it's causing this downward spiral with the image quality. So we have found the culprit here. I'm not going to bother testing lines 7 and 8 since I'm 99% sure that I've uncovered the main issue, so I'm only going to block line 6, and I'm hoping that this will circumvent the problem and get me a good image. Again, I'm going to explain a little bit more detail of what's happening here in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Okay, here we go. Line 6 is blocked. That looks amazing. That is the best picture that I've seen so far. The lines are not there anymore, and I don't really see any other blemishes on the screen. So let me get to the test screen and we'll compare. Here you can see the letters from before, but this time there are no lines. After looking the TV over, the only thing that I found was this faint line at the top right that's really only noticeable when there's a white image on the screen. Okay, this is really interesting. With my macro lens on, I can see the individual red, green, and blue subpixels that make up the colors for the image. This is looking at the top right of the screen. Look at which line has the problem. Yep, if you count down, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the problem is on pixel row number 6. So this probably means that there's a short circuit on one of the subpixels in row 6, and by blocking that clock line, I haven't solved the underlying problem, but I did fix the symptom, and you can see the TV is working great. This is an amazing 4K image, and you can't even see the line there at the top when you're watching it.
What's up guys, this is Tampa Tech and I'm going to show you how to fix an LED LG TV. If you want me to produce more videos or TV repair videos, let me know by giving me a thumbs up because that lets me know that you guys are interested in these types of videos.
So right here we have an LED LG TV. Model number is 42LN5400. This issue may apply to other LED TVs as well. So we got horizontal and the vertical lines all over the screen. They're inconsistent, they're flickering on and off. Now if there are permanent vertical and horizontal lines, that could be a bad LCD panel. Now we're gonna try our luck with replacing the T-CON board because it controls the LCD panel. I'm gonna remove the heat shield from the T-CON board. So this is the power board. It supplies the voltage to the main logic board and the T-CON board, which is directly connected to the LCD panel. We're going to unplug the power cord before working on the TV. If you have a standby light on the TV, that lets you know that you have standby voltage going to the main logic board. Here's pictures of what a bad T-CON board may show on the screen, and here's pictures of obviously a bad LCD panel. Right here is also a bad LCD panel. There's a bad connection on the ribbon cable connection right there. Now if you have a black screen, then that could be bad LED strips. These are the two sources I use to buy TV boards. See the links below. So I want to lift up on the latches on the T-CON board and remove the ribbon cable connections carefully. Squeeze the sides and wiggle that connection off. Do not pull on the wiring. And we're going to remove the T-CON board from the chassis. It may stick because of the thermal pad underneath it. There's the stamp. Right, that is the part number that you want to use when ordering the new T-CON board. This is the new T-CON board. They're actually refurbished boards. And they're all under warranty, so whether you buy it from shopjimmy.com or electropartsonline.com, they are warranted boards, so don't worry. And you want to press down on the T-CON board, make sure the thermal pad sticks. That's going to help transfer the heat from the T-CON board to the chassis of the TV. And then you want to slide in the ribbon cable connections. You want to make sure the line is flush with the latch, otherwise you're going to get vertical lines on the screen. And then you want to squeeze the sides of that plug and wiggle that in. Make sure it's secure. Check all your connections. Make sure that all the connections are flush and even. And put the heat shield back on and put in the micro Phillips screws. Use a hand screwdriver because if you use power tools, it may crack and damage the board. So make sure you use a hand screwdriver. And once that is done, you want to put the TV back together. I'm putting the TV stand on currently. And now plug it in the power cord. Last, if you have an LG TV or Vizio TV, it may take a couple minutes for the TV to boot up. So be patient. Looks like we don't have horizontal or vertical lines on the screen, which is a good thing, but I'm going to plug in my Chromecast to be sure. And sure enough, the screen is clear from any horizontal or vertical lines. So
if we try to repair this type of damage in an authorized service center, it will definitely recommend to replace the whole LCD screen. Actually, not even damage in an LCD screen requires screen replacement. There are actually repairable damage categories, and there are irreparable ones. For example, a broken LCD screen cannot be repaired. This kind of damage requires us to replace the LCD screen because, obviously, we cannot fix a broken glass screen. For horizontal lines damage, such as this, we still have hope to restore the image back to normal. If you see the inside of this TV, there is a TV LED or LCD with adjoining connecting cables to the screen like this. But some only have one line of connecting cable to the screen. If you find horizontal lines TV damage and it has two pieces of screen connector cables like this, you can fix it with Scotch tape. First, you need to find the line on the PCB board with parallel connection between two screen connectors. Once you find it, you can try to close one of the lines connected in parallel with Scotch tape. Then reinstall it and try to turn the TV on. If the damage is still visible, then repeat the step to the other PCB line.
मुबारक